Alliance Shamans and Horde Paladins. That is what a lot of players would like to see in a Classic Plus. Would it work? That is a major change. The kind of change that would require a lot of thought and foresight, because it would affect things like the raid comp, loot scarcity, and without other tuning, it could make the warrior meta even stronger. As a reminder, here is roughly what the Alliance and Horde meta raid comp is. The Alliance raid is built around having priests as the AoE healers. You're going to basically have one priest in each melee group. Then you're going to have 3 pallies for the blessings. Oh yeah, and 1 druid. The Horde raid comp is built around shamans in each melee group for Wind Fury, and also, heck, let's just add more shamans because chain heal for the raid healing. And then you're going to have a couple of priests for tank healing. And, oh yeah, you'll bring 1 druid as well. If no change was made to class balance at all, and we could bring all 4 healers, you would still stack shamans, you'd bring your 3 pallies, and then you'd bring just 1 or 2 priests. Oh yeah, and 1 druid. This would suck to be a priest or a druid.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So there would, of course, have to be some sort of class tuning to make this work. Now, as you probably all know, there already is a so-called Classic Plus, right? It's called Turtle WoW. And Turtle WoW is being played by a decent amount of players. There's around 5,000 people on one of the servers, and there are several servers. And 5,000 people, by the way, is a really healthy amount. That's a decent amount for a server. These days, people's perceptions on what is a proper amount of players is really skewed in the wrong direction. You know, they say, if it's not 25,000 people, it's dead. It's all this buzzword, hype word, dead, 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 dead. You know, if it's not just an astronomical amount of people, multiple layers, queues to get in, it's dead. If it's not that, it's dead. So let's go ahead and take a look at a Turtle WoW raid, because guess what? They have shamans and pallies in their raids, but they don't have alliance shamans. They have cross-faction raids. Let's see how close a Turtle WoW raid comp is compared to the raid comp that I kind of hypothetically came up with. This here is an axe speedrun, the server record, and it's, as you see, it's a Ret Paladin. That's saying a lot when we have a Ret Paladin as the as the POV. They're bringing a Ret Pally. Let's take a look at the damage meters. So they have a mage on top with an ignite. Then they have warriors and rogues, but they do have a warlock as the number 5 damage. And you can see they have not 1, not 2, but 4 warlocks. Currently, some knack speedruns will bring only 1 warlock when they say, screw you, we don't need cursive elements, right? They'll just bring more warriors, because in the current meta, it's like, do we want 1 more warrior who's going to do a lot of damage? Or do we want a warlock who's not going to do a lot of damage, but they will increase the damage of the mages, and they just kind of compare the two. So anyways, what we still see is we have shamans in each group. Warriors, for the most part, are doing a lot of damage. But we do have a Ret Pally. And here's mage with... I'm expecting it might be a Boomkin. I don't know. We'll play some footage and we'll see. We have our 4 warlocks and a priest. Is it a shadow priest? I don't know. I do see a mind flay, right? There's a mind flay, so maybe it is a shadow priest. And it looks like a dwarf, right? So we've got all sorts of races in here. We got chain heals going on. This is a tank, because we can see here we have a feral tank, and then 2 warriors tanking, and then we have so we have a tank, and then a tank, and a tank. We do have here one hunter. So Hunters are maybe a little bit shafted, right? Warlocks, we bring the warlocks, but only one hunter. So one TSA group, maybe this is a resto shaman, maybe it's an enhancement shaman. I don't know. But we don't have like the multiple hunters like we would see in Burning Crusade. We have, it looks to be, so we have 3 priests, right? And that's kind of what I estimated. They have 3 pallies. And so we still do see a little bit of that issue where we do have so many shamans. However, because warlocks have been buffed, we have 1 less melee group, right? Now we have 3 caster groups instead of like 2 caster groups. So that's means we can take less shamans, and maybe this is an enhancement shaman. Let's just guess it's an enhancement shaman. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We know this is a Ret Pally, and this is probably Boomkin, and that's a Shadow Priest. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe it is a resto for 10 healers. So anyways, it is working. They have shamans and paladins, but they don't have world buffs. No world buffs. If world buffs existed, I think that the warriors would be even stronger, and we might not see the warlocks. Who knows? It's been discussed before, right? Having world buffs benefits the melee quite a bit more than the casters. It does give mages a lot of crit, which is why mages and their ignite can be really strong, but the casters tend to get shafted. Anyways, let's play some of these clips. I'm seeing a spell. Is this this might be the Boomkin? Is this a druid casting? Is that Wrath? That might be the Boomkin. We got Warlock popping off. Ret Pally in there for a second. So the Warlocks are doing some decent damage. Of course, the Mage Ignite is strong. Oh my gosh. The Ret Pally is number 2 damage. Yikes, man. These warriors, bro, getting beat by a Ret Pally. So you just have to ask yourself, is that what you would like? Because Priest, Pally, and Druid have kind of become the minority, and Shamans are king. This is why I am hesitant of Shamans and Pally in the same raid. Yes, it can be done, but if you want a raid spot, you better be a Shaman or a Warrior. It is interesting how they do cross-faction raids, however, because on WoW Classic, currently, Alliance is the easy mode due to Salvation, and it tends to be the more popular raiding faction. Cross-faction raiding, but to my knowledge, opposite faction PvP on Turtle WoW, right? So when they PvP, there's no Shamans for the Alliance on PvP, because you'd be PvPing the Horde and the Alliance against each other. But that's going to keep the faction identity. In PvP, it's Horde versus Alliance. You know, the Alliance Pallies, the Shaman Horde clashing, whereas you have in Raid, they can group up. That seems okay. Cross-faction raiding is an interesting solution. It is worth noting that raiding with 9 classes instead of 8, it might be more difficult to gear up. Imagine being a Shaman, and no Shaman tier is dropping. Just the Priest and the Druid tier. Well, the Priest and the Druid are going to gear up fast. Also, consider that there are some items that only drop for Horde and some items that only drop for Alliance. And if they raid together, now you even have a bigger loot table. And so you might see less things like Quick Strike Ring, for example. Or on Kel'Thuzad, now instead of 8 tier rings that could drop, now there's 9 tier 3 rings that could drop, and it's more rare to see, you know, that one that you're trying to get. So I tried to play devil's advocate here, where even though I'm hesitant about Horde and Alliance, swapping Shaman and Pally, or at least getting both, it is an interesting way how Turtle WoW did it. But even though they did it in a way that maintains the Horde and Alliance sovereignties, it still creates some of those loot issues as well as raid comp issues. What are your thoughts? If you enjoyed the video, drop me a sub and a comment. Catch me live on my Twitch channel, Dwarf Lord TV, to connect with me or say hi to me in game on any of my characters. Dwarf Lord out.
And they say that the Dwarf Lord could save us. I'm not gonna pave here and wait. I'll hold on to the beard of the Dwarf Lord. Watch as we heroic leap away.